Alright, what's going on everybody? Gino, check it back in for another video today. I actually wasn't planning on making a video about the whole COVID/coronavirus subject, but now that all gyms are closing down in my country as well, and a lot of my viewers/followers/subscribers are people from the Netherlands as well, and people all over the world, I figured it'd be a good idea to make an informative video on how to get through this process of not being able to access a gym or all other places that you typically go to on a regular basis. Since there are a lot of you who actually don't have any idea on what to do right now, since you're falling out of your entire regular routine. Sorry if you can hear the puppies, but yeah, we got new puppies. So in this video I'm going to be talking a little bit about nutrition, training, and just some general guidelines to get through this whole pandemic as safely and effectively as possible, because trust me, you do not have to lose all your gains. So when it comes to working out, we'll have to do the best with the cards we're dealt. Alright? Just sitting at home being stressed out because you can't have access to a gym will not do you any good. Trust me, it will actually only make things worse. Try to do your best with everything that you have in your surrounding to still get an effective workout in. I'll actually be giving you guys a full body workout that you can repeat like 5 times a week, since by doing these workouts you will recover very fast, since you simply don't have enough load to actually provide like an intense enough stimulus to your muscles, but you can still provide enough stimulus to your muscles to maintain your gains. There's one study that I actually know of that has tested when you actually start to lose muscle mass, and I believe that it occurred after like 2 weeks of no training at all. And if you're still able to do some body weight exercises, some exercises with a resistance band, or just simply like grabbing a table and doing some curls like this, like grabbing an object and doing curls like this, for example, you just have to be creative, guys. If you use your head and think in opportunity when it comes to training and working out and getting a good workout in, your gains will be fine. You also got to put in your best effort to simply stay active. At least 90% of all people that I know have started working from home simply because they're forced to not let the virus get spread out like even more than it already has. And if you're not traveling to work, taking walks when you're on a regular work break, you'll tend to sit around at home all day. And trust me, if you normally move around a lot more and then sit still like all of a sudden, you will burn a lot less calories, and that will have a detrimental effect on your overall shape. So just put in some extra effort to stay active, take some walk outside, try to do more things around the household, for example, clean, take your dogs out for some extra walks, or just take a longer walk, or just simply put in some effort to walk around the house. If you do that, then at the end of the day, you will notice that your step count will be a lot higher than if you just sit around working or doing a Netflix marathon or whatever plan you had in the first place. Now, I know that there also might be a lot of people that simply don't see the use of doing anything other than simply going to the gym and getting a workout in there. But since we're now forced to stay at home, you just simply have to put in some effort to stay in shape and maintain your muscle mass. So next up is nutrition. Now, one thing that actually boggled my mind is that we see all those people raiding the supermarkets like freaking mad people, and the number one thing that is still present on the shelves are clean, whole, unprocessed foods. Now, I get that a lot of people might think that those products simply have a shorter expiration date, but still, if you don't want to get sick or you don't want to get infected, the number one thing that you have to take care of is your immune system. And the best way to do that is to stick to clean, whole, unprocessed foods. Be sure to still get your fruits, your vegetables, and just overall your clean, whole, unprocessed foods in order to take proper care of your health. Because at the end of the day, our health is all we got. Also be sure to get enough water in. Now, I always recommend people to get at least 3 up to 4/5 liters of water in order to help your digestive system, ensure that all the nutrients that you're taking in get transported to all the right places, your muscle cells, so that your organs take care of all the business that it has to take care of, and so forth. And lastly, be sure to get your vitamins and minerals in on a daily basis. Right? I always recommend people to take a multivitamin, some omega-3 fish oils, or krill oil, or whatever kind of fish oil your body responds the best to. Some vitamin D3, depending on which country you live in, since I live in the Netherlands and we don't get a lot of sun. So if you live in a country that doesn't get a lot of sun, or you simply don't get a lot of sun exposure, then some vitamin D3 will definitely help. Some magnesium citrate, and those 4 things should normally take care of all your vitamins and minerals. Now again, this is just my recommendation, and if you have any other deficiencies when it comes to vitamins and minerals, then just obviously make sure to follow professional advice. And then lastly, I wanted to go over some general guidelines. Obviously follow the guidelines that your country's health system provides, such as washing your hands frequently throughout the day, not touching your face, prevent being in large social groups, and prevent being around people who are constantly sneezing and coughing. You simply have to take protective measures to not get sick yourself or not to spread it around to other people, and especially people who are more prone to actually get sick from this. So as long as you're following all of these guidelines, you will ensure that you keep your muscle mass, stay active, stay in shape, get or remain healthy, and getting through this whole gym close down situation the best as you possibly can. Alright, so this full body workout is going to be divided into a couple of different parts. Now keep in mind, you do not have to follow it in the exact order that I put it in this video specifically. Just be sure to start off with the more compound based exercises and then move on to the more isolation / easy type exercises. So for this full body workout, I've done my best to be as creative as possible with my exercise selection, and I've come up with about 3 to 5 exercises per muscle group. And as you go through the workout, I want to give some tips on how to perform each exercise as effectively as possible to enable you to get the most out of this workout and maintain as much muscle mass as possible. Now, of course, you simply cannot provide the same stimulus to your muscles as you can when you're in a regular gym, right? When in a regular gym, you have your weights, you have your isolation type machines or machines in general, and you can load the exercises pretty heavily. With bodyweight or home equipment, you have to be a little bit creative, and what you then have to keep in mind is to take all your sets to either failure or near failure, right? What I recommend you to do is, if you're going for around 3 sets per exercise, then keep around 1 rep left in the tank or 1 rep in reserve for the first 2 sets, and then take the last set all the way to failure. You want to provide your muscles with a big enough stimulus to actually promote adequate blood flow and stimulus in general, so that at the end of the workout it is somewhat identical to your normal gym routine. So giving a rep count for these exercises is pretty much useless, since you'll tend to notice that you will recover very fast. They are really not that taxing, and even though that you might be a little bit sore the day afterwards or the days afterwards, that is all because you're providing your muscles with a different stimulus than you normally provide them with. Right, you're training in different angles, you're using different hand placements, different objects and so forth, so keep that in mind as you go through these workouts. To make all of these exercises a little bit harder, I recommend you to slow down the tempo to around a 3 to 5 second negative or eccentric motion, and of course to be explosive on the concentric, but by doing this you will increase the time under tension for each exercise, which will result in a bigger stimulus. So in terms of frequency, you can do these workouts pretty much up to 5 times a week. Alright, trust me, even though that you might be a little bit sore, it will probably not be that intense that it'll result in you having to skip a workout or take a rest day. Especially since we can't access the gym and we need to stay active throughout this time. Even if you feel a little bit sore, just go through the workout and you'll tend to notice that as you go through a couple of exercises, your soreness will decrease. And if you really tend to notice that it's getting a little bit too intense and you're becoming way too sore and way too fatigued, which is highly unlikely, but you never know, then just decrease the frequency to around 3 to 4 times per week and take a rest day whenever it's necessary. Now, in terms of using equipment, I highly recommend you to use resistance bands if you have access to them. Right? If you have dumbbells and barbells at home, then definitely use those, because they can provide more of an identical stimulus to the regular gym workouts. So if you have resistance bands, use them. And if you do not have resistance bands, then I highly recommend you to grab a bucket and fill it with water, grab a backpack and fill it with books. Just be creative and try to find something that you can increase the load with that you're using for your exercises. Now, I also mentioned this in the video, but if you tend to notice that you're gaining some body fat or you're getting a little bit bloated, then just decrease your overall calories. But please do not put yourself in a caloric deficit, especially since you cannot provide your muscles with an identical stimulus to your regular gym workouts. And if you then put yourself in a caloric deficit, you will risk losing muscle mass. And I can imagine that is not the goal of anyone watching this video at all. So just eat at maintenance. Do your best to stay active throughout the day by taking walks, doing some bodyweight circuits, or just follow these workouts. And overall, just do your best to stay as safe as possible.
Alright, and that is all for this video, guys. I sincerely hope you all enjoyed. If you did, please be sure to smash the like button, because it truly helps out the channel grow. Comment down below and subscribe to the channel and turn post notifications on for so much more content coming really soon. Stay safe, peace out, and see you in the next one.